My birthday is June 19th. I was born on Juneteenth. And I was thinking about having a parade because, Trump had a parade with tanks and the army. And, okay, listen, I'm
You could see the exact moment Trump realized he was cooked. It was during his own birthday parade when he looked out at the crowd and he realized there wasn't one. This man spent $48 million of taxpayer money on what was essentially a sad cosplay of a North Korean military parade.
I'm really worried for Pete Hegseth and our military today because that show of a parade yesterday was not at all what Trump was expecting. He was expecting the lockstep perfection of North Korea.
Okay guys, before I start this video, I just want to say that I disagree with people who say what they say in this video. I watched the military parade yesterday and it looked well orchestrated and there were a decent amount of people for which to host a military parade. And also, it was great. Like, the way they performed, the soldiers, they performed amazingly. So, I enjoyed that parade myself. And I saw that there were a big enough crowd. Then what they're saying that there were no crowds at all. Maybe it might be the left, but hey, that's my opinion. What is up, YouTube? My name is Happiness and welcome to my channel. So, Donald Trump, a president driven by patriotism or misunderstood by the masses.
We're going to have a big, beautiful parade.
A military parade?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We're going to celebrate our military. We have the greatest military in the world.
What's the price tag?
People, peanuts compared to the value of doing it.
Donald J. Trump, now serving his second term as the 47th president of the United States, remains a powerful and divisive figure in American politics.
What an embarrassment. Honestly, that's about as small as it gets. How weak do you have to be to commandeer the military to fet you on your birthday in a vulgar display of weakness? That's Donald Trump.
Cup. Kachika, kachika. Yeah! Now that's what I'm talking about. Hey, how come the only one celebrating is me, huh? Where are the girls? Bring on the confetti. Ow!
To his supporters, he is the embodiment of a strong, unapologetic patriot who will stop at nothing to protect and elevate his country. To his critics, he is a leader whose policies and rhetoric deepens the nation's divide. In 2025, his presidency continues to shape the country with dramatic decisions on immigration, economics, and national identity, many of which he insists are fully promising made to the American people. From organizing grand military parades to eliminating student debt, from pushing one big beautiful bill to enforce strict immigration law, Trump claims he is simply delivering what the voters asked for. However, protest, unrest, and misunderstanding purge his administration.
You guys, that's exactly the reason why you don't do military parade in the democratic countries. That was pretty embarrassing, you guys. Like, come on, man.
In the United States Army. As part of the buildup for World War II, cavalry and reconnaissance units were brought together to form the 1st Armored Division in 1940.
None more symbolic than the recent anti-ICE riot in Los Angeles, California. Earlier this year, Trump held, it was yesterday, Trump held a massive military parade in Washington, D.C., with tanks, fighter jets, and thousands of troops marching down Pennsylvania Avenue. For Trump and his supporters, the event is a proud celebration of America's strength and the courage of its military. He sees it as a way to honor veterans and signal the world that America, the United States, remains dominant and proud. Detractors, however, view the parade as excessive and authoritarian, comparing it to a similar display of undemocratic regime. Still, to Trump, these parades are a physical presentation of national pride.
My birthday is June 19th. I was born on Juneteenth. And I was thinking about having a parade because, Trump had a parade with tanks and the army. And, okay, listen, Okay, I can't laugh because I don't know what it's like when you throw a birthday party and nobody shows up, but Trump does. Okay, we're going to take this seriously because this is the President of the United States and he deserves all the respect. Okay, that's I mean, seriously, you could hear the whine of the tank all the way in Brooklyn. Great party.
His way of showing the American people that he is unafraid to stand tall for the country he loves. Trump immigration policy remains one of the most controversial and central elements of his administration. He continues to urge that illegal immigrants harm the country by stealing jobs, overburdening public resources, and committing identity fraud. Trump insists he is not anti-immigrant but pro-law and pro-America. Under his direction, ICE has increased its enforcement efforts, leading to record numbers of detainment and demonstration.
I'm really worried for Pete Hegseth and our military today because that of a parade yesterday was not at all what Trump was expecting. He was expecting the lockstep perfection of North Korea, of Russia, of China, and that's not what he got. He got people meandering through the streets. It looked like Kmart was going out of business the way those tanks just creaked through and nobody was there. So I think petty Trump is going to make them pay for that. I bet you Pete won't have his job in a month. There'll be a reason they will embarrass him because someone needs to be more embarrassed than Trump. And then I'm really afraid he's going to deploy them. Ukraine, I don't know. Iran, maybe. But he will now make them pay for the embarrassment he feels.
He says these measures are exactly what he promised in his first campaign: a secure border, legal immigration, and priority for American citizens. That's how he likes to say it, make America great again. However, the response to these policies have been explosive. One of the most dramatic incidents occurred in Los Angeles, where tensions boiled over into a full-scale anti-ICE riot. Protesters taken to the street after a high-profile ICE raid in a prominently immigrant neighborhood led to multiple family separations. That what began as a peaceful protest quickly escalated into violent clashes between demonstrators and federal agents. Fires and mass arrests, the image of riot police confronting protesters and families swooping in the streets sparked outrage across the country. To Trump critics, this riot is proof that his immigration policies are tearing communities apart. But to Trump, it's the result of lawfulness and misinformation. He responds by defending the operation, calling it necessary, legal, and overdue, and again insists that he is only doing what Americans voted for.
You could see the exact moment Trump realized he was cooked. It was during his own birthday parade when he looked out at the crowd and he realized there wasn't one. This man spent $48 million of taxpayer money on what was essentially a sad cosplay of a North Korean military parade. And he still couldn't pull a crowd. We're talking empty bleachers, confused tourists, and one guy holding up a sign saying, "I thought this was a car show." Meanwhile, across the country, millions of people showed up to the No Kings protests. Like, it wasn't even close. The protests had bigger turnouts, better music, and somehow more cake. The president looked like a man watching his own political funeral in real time. The smirk faded. The eyes got glassy. You could almost hear the voice in his head saying Melania was right. And the best part? This wasn't just a bad birthday. It was a historic momentum shift. Because when millions of people take to the streets on your big day to say, nah, we're good, that's not a protest. That's a preview. And at this rate, Trump might have accidentally guaranteed a Democratic supermajority. Not just in Congress, in everything. State houses, city councils, PTA meetings. He just handed the left the best voter turnout operation it's ever had by throwing himself a parade no one asked for. So let's keep it up. Ride this wave, organize, vote, stay loud, and let's make sure the only fireworks this guy sees next year are from his ankle monitor lighting up when he steps too far from Mar-a-Lago.
Protecting their safety, jobs, and identity. In addition to his aggressive immigration stance, Trump has also made bold moves in the economy. He continues to promote tax cuts, arguing that low corporate and personal tax will drive growth, investment, and create jobs. He rejects expansion of welfare programs like Medicaid, believing that smaller government and private solutions are better for America. In a move that surprised many, Trump recently eliminated federal student loan debt for millions of America. While this policy seems out of character for a conservative president, Trump defends it as a strategic investment in a national future. He claims that lifting the burden of debt allows young Americans to thrive, starting businesses, and contribute more fully to the economy.
Well. Trump spent $163 million on his birthday party. Isn't that strange?
Some conservative critics oppose the move, but Trump insists it's just another example of him putting the American people first. Meanwhile, he continues to push for his long-promised One Big Beautiful Bill, a sweeping piece of legislation that would combine immigration reform, healthcare, restructuring, tax simplification, and infrastructure spending. He presents it as an ultimate solution to the national biggest challenge so far. Congress has not passed it, but Trump remained persistent, saying it's only a matter of time before the American people get the comprehensive challenge he believes they deserve. Despite all these efforts, Trump remains a magnet for protest and resistance. Across the country, people flood the streets in opposition to his policies, especially on immigration and civil rights. The anti-ICE riots in Los Angeles is only one example of a deepening unrest that has followed many of his actions. Colleagues, campuses, city halls, and even conservative towns host rallies against what many see as the erosion of democratic value under Trump's rule. But in the face of these demonstrations, Trump remained unfazed. He often urges that these protesters simply don't understand the different choices leaders must take to preserve the nation. In his words, tough love is still love. In conclusion, Donald Trump in 2025 leads with a fierce and often controversial band of patriotism. His military parade, immigration crackdown, economic reform, and student loan forgiveness all reflect his belief in putting America first, often with little regards to political correctness of elite opinion. To some, he is finally restoring pride or that to others he is causing irrespectable harm to the nation's value. Whether history values him as a misunderstood patriot or a president who went far to remain to be seen. What is clear now is that Trump continues to govern with unshakable belief, and everything he does is for the American people. So, yes, guys, as you know what Trump normally says, make America great again. So, yeah, thank you for watching my channel, guys. Please like and subscribe, and let's meet up to the next video, and peace out.